I hope everybody is feeling good. It is Thursday, and I have gathered a few wonderful beings of light to talk to you today about nature's healing plan. We're going to talk all about frequency and vibration between us and nature and always. Of course, it looks now that BeLive has created 2 of our live streams, and so we are on one of them. So, hi Nana, it is good to see you. We're going to keep rolling with it. I am texting our tech here. Hi Fabiana, hi Emma. Thank you guys for taking the time and understanding the wonderful world of technology. Jessica's here. Good afternoon. Hi Vicky. Hi Ryan. Marnie. It's so happy to see you guys. Thank you very much. Now that you guys are rolling in, I'm going to switch over. You guys are switching over from the other live stream. The one. Helping hands over here. Hi, Katie and Mary Lloyd. What are we talking about today, says Fabiana. So we're just going to take it like take 2 because technology duplicated us today with 2 live streams. Hi to everybody on Facebook and YouTube. My name is Jamie Butler if you're new to the channel. I have collected some, I didn't collect them, I asked them and they said, yes, we'll show up and talk to you. 2 beautiful beings of light that really work with nature. We have with us today, I love this rant. We have with us today Jessica Briggs, and she is the creator of jessicabriggs.me. She's an intuitive reader and healer and nature enthusiast, which, yes, please sign me up for all of that. She's actually out in Mount Shasta, and she runs backpacking and hiking, like tours and guides. If you are out in that part of the country and you really want to be aligned with somebody who's aware of all of this, please reach out to Jessica Briggs. I'll put up her information. Most of her magic happens online, so you can be anywhere in the world. But if you are near her, you get to enjoy those big bonuses of the hiking and nature. A lot of her stuff happens on her Instagram page with Instagram stories. So definitely look out for that. I'll put everything up. And I want to introduce Kelbi McCumber Morris before we pull everybody up. Kelbi's the creator of luminoushealing.com. Again, I will post that for you because I know Lumineers, you like to do your research, and I'm always begging you to please put your fingers to the keyboard and just get out there and learn a little bit more, get aligned with what you're attracted to. Oh, Funny Smiles, welcome. This is your first live stream with us. Yay! I love it. So with Kelbi McCumber Morris, she is a holder of space, a botanical alchemist, and a nervous system regulator, and she is magical. The wealth of information this one person has in her body is astounding, and you can absolutely find her work on luminoushealing.com. Please welcome today Jessica Briggs. She's going to pop up. There she is. Hi, Jessica.
Hi, guys. Hi, everybody.
I love this. Fabiana says, oh, plants. I asked my plants what they wanted to be called, and I have Meryl, Gigi, and Theresa.
Whoa.
I'm not the only one. And let's welcome Kelbi. Hello, Kelbi.
Hey, everyone.
Okay, we are up and running, and people are finding us. Oh, I love this. So many people are commenting. It's just automatically popping up. Kelbi is magical. I love it.
Thank you, Melinda. So are you, by the way.
This is great. So I ask that you guys come forward. There's a few things that we have in common. Both of you teach and are facilitators over at the Virtual Center for Love and Light. And for that, I'm so excited and grateful for. And for anybody out there who's looking for a place to land that has real, authentic like strong and yet vulnerable teachers that are knowledgeable and answer your questions within the class, that hold space for you to grow. And it's not just this, hey, we're putting it online and you can just go watch it and it's just another online kind of distant or disconnect. And both of you, the way that you teach, you're so hands-on, even if it's remote, it feels like you're there with the person. I appreciate that so much. And both of you have a passion for nature. So I just kind of wanted to open up and ask, how does nature influence you? And Jessica, if you want to go first, you can roll with the ball.
Oh my gosh. So we are nature, right? Like we are nature. And by that, I just feel like everything we see in the natural world is within us. So when I see an oak tree, which I'm in California, so we have wildfires. When I see an oak tree and its resiliency, I'm reminded that I'm resilient. And when I see a flower that's delicate and fragile and beautiful and it blooms and it has this amazing magic and medicine to it, I'm reminded that every single one of us, like everyone on this live and just everybody, has that too. So yeah, I just feel like it's within us. The water is within us, the plants are within us, the animals are within us, all that. Kelbi, what do you think?
Oh, that's so special. Yeah, I bring nature into everything I do. I start any ritual or practice or session with anybody by honoring the land that I'm on. I'm on the Skegee Creek land, and a lot of my clients know where they're at as well, and some of them don't. And I find it a really interesting kind of conversation opener, and to really start to connect them to where they're at and the people who came before them that stewarded their land. And I just love opening that conversation and connection that's really deep.
Wait, what creek are you on again?
I'm not on a creek. I'm on Muskegee Creek land, the tribe. But I do live on a lake.
There you go. You like mumbled over it. I was like, wait, what? I want to know more about that.
Yeah, so I always try to connect with the people who, the land that we're on, because we wouldn't have what we have where we're at if it wasn't for them. It's just the first place I start everything I do. So that's my initial connection to nature with every practice I have.
So with you, Kelbi, you call kind of part of what you do a nervous system regulator. What does that mean? How do you do this?
Yeah, so I am really passionate about helping people process trauma through their body. And to do that, orienting our nervous system is just really key. It's key to processing and healing all aspects of ourselves, our mental, our physical, our emotional, our spiritual bodies. And so part of that is connecting to our environment. And nature is a really great place to do that because we're able to really use all of our senses in that space. There's anything to hear and to touch and to smell, and there's just all those really juicy bits to get into. And when you do that and you bring all of those pieces together along with some really amazing stillness, you get to start to find safety in your body. And that starts to bring out and allow you to flush out all of those traumas and those other things that kind of get stuck with you along the way. And nature is just the wind, the sun, like all the aspects of it help to bring that in and to move those things and that energy through our bodies.
So I've got something interesting. Shelly Ham over here on Facebook is mentioning, don't know how you can't be influenced by nature. It's so calming for me. Do you come across people who are like, okay, herbalist, botanist, nature enthusiast, outdoors lover, whatever, I don't get it, doesn't do anything for me? Do you ever come across people like that? And if so, like, how do you tell them, well, this is what I do and this is what I'm passionate about and this is how it works?
Go for it, Jess.
For me, because I guide backpacking trips, like spiritual backpacking, I come across a lot of people who either like think that they want to be connected to nature, and then we get out in the wilderness, and it's actually almost like it's like an existential crisis because there's no electricity, there's no climate control, and they're like, wait a minute, I changed my mind, I liked it in theory and not now. And so like Kelbi, like you were saying, it's so important for us to regulate and to breathe and to orient ourselves on the land that we're on and connect. So yeah, my first thing is to get back into our body, into our safety. And then I also work with a lot of people in Silicon Valley, and it's that disconnect can be real but temporary. So our relationship to the land, I feel, even if it's not immediately conscious, it's an aspect of ourselves that we can connect to just through breath, a houseplant, a ritual, a ceremony, an herbal bath.
I love that.
Think?
I think I surprise people with bringing nature in. I bring nature into healing sessions and stuff, and I think they're not expecting some of the ways that it touches them. I'm always playing something nature-esque, whether it's nature sounds or Schumann's resonance or something like that. I often bring in stones and crystals and that kind of thing, and people are often surprised at the energy and the healing that is found even within these little tiny pieces of earth that are brought in. Yeah. I use, plants themselves in a session on the body, either as plant material straight up, or even as a product, putting it on meridian points and things like that. I think we can bring nature in so many ways. And when I do those things and people aren't expecting it, and they are able to get that sense of grounding and earthing that you and I get when we're out there walking and touching the earth, but yet they're inside and they're on the table, I think it's really special, and it helps them to maybe want to find that connection for themselves and to see that it really is true and that they can access it.
Do we have some of our viewers saying, Jessica Rassi says, tell them to go talk to a tree. And then Lori Arnberger jumps in and goes, hug a tree.
I have a great tree meditation coming up in our Center for Love and Light classes too.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to find that tree meditation. I'll post it on that link. And then Studio LB says, get out and just smile in the sun. Just go for it. So all of this leads me to, do you think, so many, and I'm just going to speak in a blanket term, so please, if this doesn't resonate with you, just don't take it. But I found in my work as a medium and helping people connect to loved ones and healing, that they're very disconnected from nature and don't see nature as a teacher, let alone a healer of the wounds that they carry or the trauma that they have. Do you both, and you just go one at a time, do you feel that, is the word serendipitous? I'm trying to find the right word for humanity and nature to come together, and symbiotic maybe is the word that I want. Do you feel it's a symbiotic relationship? And do you yourselves work with trauma or wounds? That's it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you asked this question, Jamie. And so I feel like first I just want to extend some compassion and heart to anybody whose ears perked up when they heard the word trauma. We probably all have trauma in different ways, where you're just overwhelmed sometimes, or disconnect from the place within you that remembers you are resilience incarnate and feel like you can't handle the life in front of you. So that's how I sometimes see trauma. But to answer the question, like, what is that relationship between humans and earth and trauma and healing is, well, we are all an expression of earth and we're all an expression of spirit. And so when we're looking at trauma specifically, I'll take the example of the wildfire because that's so present for me right now and maybe for anyone out there in the West. But when we look at how wildfire moves through, that fire is destructive energy, it's death, it's purification. It's also a great messenger, like a very, very, very powerful teacher. And then what nature will do is it doesn't like fight what's happening. It doesn't try to make it more palatable in any way. It just is what it is. And the other trees around know that the fire is coming. Like, believe me, they know it's there and they don't disconnect from it. It is what it is. And then this profound medicine around here, at least, will get mullein, which is this plant great for grief, if anyone is experiencing grief, or lungs in general. And then mullein will start to grow. And I feel like what it can teach us is that earth holds the intention and the forest has the intention of being magnificent, of being grand, of being vast, of being an expression of love. But it happens seed by seed and it happens organically. And so the mullein will come in and it will start to rehabilitate the soil, and then manzanita will grow, and then other things will grow, and it's this organic process. And I feel like now on earth, it's such a timely metaphor, because if you've lost a job, or you know somebody who's lost a job, or things are shifting, or perceptions are changing, or maybe somebody just realized like the history of how African Americans were treated, and it's like totally mind blowing to them. And that's the fire element. That's the destruction. That's the purification. That's the illusion. And then hold that within you, that light within you that wants to be bigger, become your true self, be authentic. Like, hold that with you, and then let the different seeds come in and let it be organic and let them grow and nourish them, and take it all one step at a time and honor the process. Just to say one more thing, one way we can bring nature into our lives is through metaphors. So we look at the moon. The moon is sometimes fully in the light, and sometimes it goes all the way to a new moon, a dark moon. And we're the same way. We expand and contract and go fully into our light, and then we go and take some time in the mystery and the darkness of it all. So I hope that makes sense. It just came from my heart, and I would really love to hear what Kelbi has to say.
Jess, that makes so much sense. And you said about half of what I was going to say. I mean, you touched on even mullein and the moon and specific things that were coming to mind for me. I don't know that I can add much. It was so beautiful. The other symbiotic, I guess, aspect that I could add to would be our cyclical nature, the cyclical nature of how we handle all of life, especially trauma, and how that mimics how the seasons go. And if we can think about the way the seasons flow, then we can also know that when we're really stuck in trauma and tap into that idea of seasons and idea of flow, we know that we won't be stuck in that, because it will also begin to flow. It will find its way out and through, just like the seasons do. I really thought it was beautiful how you said it, Jess. Thank you. Thanks for sharing all of that.
So we all come back on. It's like magic, isn't it? I've been taking the time to read some of the comments, and so many of the followers are thanking you big time for talking, Kelbi, about the first people and acknowledging their love and engagement with the land as well, before modern day arrived. So many are agreeing and sending you big love, as it said, about discussing those with trauma and not being pushed aside or just misunderstood because of their traumas. Even Edna Marie Connolly Floral says, totally agree. I think the disconnect from nature is a disconnection from our life force itself, and is at the core of many humanity's issues on the planet today. What is your take on that, Kelbi?
Oh, gosh.
Or let's put it this way, Kelbi. What if you could just make anything happen in the world, which I totally believe you can because you're magical that way. But what would be the thing that you would want to see offered in the world that connects people to the earth, to nature?
Well, I really just want people to feel where they're at. That's why I encourage that connection to finding out where your land is. that's why I like to grow, putting my hands into the soil and having that soul to soil connection and feeling the true vibration of the earth in that way, other than just holding a stone or calling it in or listening to Schumann's resonance or any of those other ways. Like, just simple. You don't have to pay anybody for it. You don't have to go anywhere for it. You can just walk outside and really touch the earth. The first, I think it was a chiropractor or energy worker who said it to me, to go out and just put bare feet on the ground, changed my life. It's really, really simple. But I mean, if we all did that every day, the connection that we have together, as well as our own connection and grounding and source connection, would be amplified tremendously.
Agreed. What is your source of Schumann's resonance, Kelbi? Where do you like to go?
I always go to the places that Sarah Rehus sends me.
Me too.
She's my Schumann's guru, and she's the one who's encouraged me to actually add Schumann's to some of the medicines and stuff that I make, to give it a grounding resonance and to kind of help people bring them down a bit when they're kind of floaty.
I put up Sarah Rahia's name. She has a Patreon account, and you can head over there, and she puts all her recommendations up. It's wonderful. She'd be great to have on a nature panel as well.
Yeah.
Jessica, what would be some things, if you could just make anything happen with humanity on Earth to connect them to nature, what would you do? Magic.
I would connect them to the frequency of gentleness. Because I think that, did you hear Jamie?
Yeah. How? Like how?
I think, it's so straightforward in a way, as my teacher tells me sometimes, like, just do it. Like, just connect to gentleness, Just connect to it, because it's just a frequency you can tap into, or you could look at examples of, like, flowers or anything like that. But I really feel like gentleness is such good medicine for transitions. It is such good medicine for, like, reconnecting with the earth and with plants and with animals and with our spirit guides. Because when you're gentle, you can receive and you can listen in a really good way.
This might be putting you on the spot, but what aspect about nature holds for you the most gentle kind of energy?
Water.
Yeah.
Water.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. Why did I not think water was nature for some reason?
Well, there's so much land, right? So sometimes when we think of nature, we think of land, but there's also a lot of water too.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Edna is mentioning the movie, the Earthing movie on YouTube. Have you seen it?
I'm pretty sure I watched that at some point. It's great information. I think it's the one with Deepak or something. Pretty good info.
Life-changing. So there's that resource that's out there. And
it'll make you want to go out and buy all those earthing sheets and stuff.
Right? Do you think those work?
I don't know.
Well as being in nature?
I think anything that you give intuition and intention to works.
So if I had all the magic in the world and I could open up that big box and get people connected to the earth, I just have this underlying passion somewhere, and maybe I'll tackle this in the next decade or something, but building some kind of elementary education for youth, for mainstream public schools, because I find that the charter schools and the private schools, some of them, ones that are more geared to life skills rather than the education of knowledge, provide some information about going out and gardening and being outside. And I would love to have, I don't know, just like a dirt class or something like that. Jessica asked a really sweet question before we got into the talk today. Do you remember what you asked me?
Like what your favorite part about nature is? Yeah. Is that the question?
Yes. And I was like, holy cow, that's a big freaking question. Took a second and I go, okay, if I had to prioritize it, I would say the smell of the air like after a rain, that sweetness in it, and the feel of good dirt. Oh, just some
Yeah.
good dirt.
Rich soil. Yeah.
So, Kelby, I'd love to hear yours while Kelby's sharing. Those of you who are watching, please put your fingers to the keyboard and let us know.
Remind me what your question was.
Just gonna go for it.
What is your favorite part about nature, Kelby?
Oh, right. My favorite part about nature is the way that it makes me feel. As soon as I step into it, whether I am engaging with the wind on my face, the sun on my back, the bark on a tree, I immediately get a particular sensation and vibration that runs through my body. And the way that it just centers and aligns me instantly is my favorite thing, hands down. Put my hands in the water of the lake, touch the grass, like whatever.
Why do you think we all moved inside?
I wonder that, Jamie.
I have
think
no
it's
idea.
just the way their houses were constructed. But there's so much magic and medicine in sleeping outdoors, like we were talking about, Jamie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I want to say too, because I used to be a child therapist and a public school teacher before I did this full time, and I feel like I want to say that like kids are magic, and I want to say maybe too, like don't push them too hard to go outside in nature, like just enough, because they may come back to it on their own.
My fingers
I
are
love that.
crossed.
As a
Do you
homeschooling
guys
mom,
have
I
that?
find that too, and I think it's really important to instill the love of nature, but not to push it on them. Like you said, to let them find it themselves is like the real magic.
Yeah.
Self-empowerment with it. That's one of your big things, Jessica, is helping people feel and know their own like answers.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Teach and educate. You're really the self-empower.
Yeah. I really, really, really love it, and I don't want to overwhelm anybody by saying you already know your own answers, because I know there's a lot of place for support and guidance and community and love and trust. But I think that the meditations that I've created for the Center of Love and Light and the classes are really about stepping into like being able to develop the skill of healing yourself, being your own healer, being your own guide, and really knowing things for yourself and having that direct experience while being supported and cared for.
And love. You have some great meditations. And please do, everybody, check out her Instagram and like, follow, enjoy all the Instagram stories and these. They're mindful meditations. They're very in the moment and present. Still, so many people I love. Let's hear some favorite things. Oh, Chiara from Italy says, the smell of the rain is my favorite smell too, but it's the taste of cherries. I mean, food is nature. We haven't even talked about food. What? And Star Petronella, hope I got your name right, goes, can you read it? She goes, I know why we moved inside. Mosquitoes are why we moved inside. Pests. Kelby is like,
Yeah.
Oh, that's a trip.
Nana Rosebud says, I love to eat different fruits rather than veggies. I always think the different fruits are the colors of the rainbow, and I'm eating happiness. So Margaret's kind of asking, Margaret Schneider, hi, thanks for being here. And she is asking, why is it so hard to be in the moment? So can you guys think of ways that nature is providing us a way or encouraging us how to be in the moment?
I would say that in order to appreciate all of those little bits of nature, you have to slow down. To really feel the bark or to feel the wind or to enjoy like the temperature of the soil and that sort of thing, you can't get into that without slowing down and really coming into yourself and being in the moment. So I think nature helps us find that by giving us reason and time and place to slow down. What do you think, Jess?
I think, why is it so hard to be in the moment? I would say no big deal. We're just a little out of practice. We're just out of practice. And
Yeah.
it's okay. You can try again. But I would say, being in nature is, from what I've observed from teaching people how to backpack, especially, is one of the most natural, authentic, easy, joyful ways to have fun. Like going swimming in a lake in that cold water. You live in a lake, or just like looking at the sunset and being like, all that wonder and all those colors. Like it's so like beautiful. I don't know if I've ever seen something more beautiful than nature itself. And so it really connects us with that sense of wonder. And I would say too, if anyone's had that experience of like a sunset or on a vacation, just remember, like, you're that beautiful too. Isn't that amazing?
Yes, it is. So I wanted to clarify, Laura is asking over on YouTube, hi all, is the membership to the Center for Love and Light separate from the Luminaires? It is. The virtual Center for Love and Light is over on, we'll show this. It's over on the Learn It Life platform, and it is a membership program. And in that membership, you get upwards, it's actually more than, but we're saying 12 classes for $24.99. Here are two of our facilitators and practitioners that teach. And we're just highlighting them, wanting to get the good word out there for a lower cost so that you can find that community, which the Center for Love and Light has been for over a decade now, helping people who are, I'm not going to say the word real because we're all real, but just be authentic and caring and compassionate and talk about those easy energy topics and the difficult energy topics. And here are some of the facilitators that are doing that good work over there. The Luminaires is the membership on YouTube. So they are in different platforms and they provide different classes and information. So, Kelbi, what are some of the things that you provide over on the center, the virtual Center for Love and Light?
I wrote them down because I was afraid I would not remember.
You know what? I looked and I couldn't find the tree one, but I did post your intuitive herbal class.
Well, that's part of it, is I haven't posted all of them up there yet, but you will find my one that is next week on Thursday, the 23rd at 11 a.m. And that is going to be live sharing a hypnotrance session, which is for heightened self-awareness, to bring calm and focus and to become embodied and in touch with ourselves and our environment. So that's next week, just the same day on Thursday at 11 a.m. And I have a ton of stuff. Like in October, we have Samhain coming up, which is the change of the seasons. And I'll be doing a shamanic journey for that, where you can be in touch with your ancestors. Very Halloween-y vibe, if you will. I got tons of herbalism and plant classes, since we're talking nature. Things like herbs for empaths and highly sensitive people, making tea blends, using your intuition and divination to choose plants and medicines, basic herbalism making courses, herbs for grief, tips on growing. And then I've got tons of shamanic journeys that we can take to meet your guides, either ancestors, plants, spirits, elementals, as well as past life regressions. And then I'm going to share lots of nervous system regulation techniques, because that's really near and dear to my heart. And I think everyone needs to do those. All of those are going to be free. And of course, I will share loads of meditations and just energy healing sessions with everybody. And everything I do is usually free for members and really cheap if you're not a member. So I hope you guys will come and check it out.
Yes, Keely is on your heels, and Keely Nelson says CF. So Center for Love and Light membership has been my best investment. Keely, thank you so much for saying that. And if you just listened to Kelbi list out all those things and you were like, she does what and what and what, I just posted the link. It goes straight to her services, but you can see it on her website, which is luminoushealing.com. So Jessica, what are some of the classes that you offer over at the Virtual Center?
Well, Shelly Ham in the comments, hi Shelly, she reminded me I taught a class about basic backpacking skills. And then I also taught a class about the emotional intelligence for backpacking to really equip people with how to be in community without a break for that long, and how to be there and enjoy nature. And then I have so many other ones like cultivating unconditional love for all of creation, connecting to your quantum reality. And I also have classes about my best advice that I learned from being a child therapist, and especially specializing in kids who really, really needed a therapist. Like I was there because usually of violence or something. Yeah, it's really fun, right? Yeah, we have such a good time, you guys. If you want to come and hang out, it's joyful, it's deep, it's meaningful, it's authentic, and it's for you.
If you were just listening to Jessica and you wanted a landing page to talk more about her offerings and what she does, I just posted it for you, and you can find her at jessicabriggs.me. As well, of course, over on cflllearnitlive.com, where we have about 15 different facilitators that collaborate every month to bring content to you within that one membership cost, which is great. And you can also purchase them one-offs as well. If you're like, I will never be a part of a membership, but you want to get the classes, or you can do them one at a time too. It's fine.
And if you just want to meet us, we're starting to do a Learn It Live lounge and just hanging out where you can kind of just get a casual vibe about who we are. And we've got another one coming up. I won't be there because it's my daughter's birthday, but this weekend on the 18th. And so we all kind of get together and just gab and hang out and talk about whatever's on our minds, and you can join in.
Oh, I love that you guys do that. It's really valuable. So I always like to ask a question, and Kelly, you've been under the fire of this one, where at the end I kind of say, do you have like a golden nugget, which could be an action, a phrase, a product, like something that you do. It could be ritualistic or just routine that really keeps you in tune with nature, that just lights you up like every day. And if you do, would you be willing to share it with us and just take your time and dive into the details? Because we are curious people and we want to know everything. And if you mention something that I can find online, I will find it and I will post it in the chat thread for all of us to look at.
Yeah, my number one, I mentioned it already, and it's just near and dear to me. I don't do any work with anyone without some element of nervous system regulation. And the primary activity of that is orienting. And so I will help you slow down. I will help you find safety in your body. And it's very easy. It's techniques that you will be given and you will just take for free on your own and do every day. If you just tap into your body, where you're sitting right now, the contacts that you're making, and if you're standing, that contact will be your feet. Mine is like my knee and my back on the chair right now. You just really sense into those places and think about them. Think about the texture that's there, the amount of pressure that's there, and in relation, think about the other things that are around you. So use your eyes to connect with objects that are near you. And when you do that, really feel into that movement. Feel into the movement of your eyes. Do they just jump from one thing to the next? Do they use your chin to move? Are they moving on their own and really slow and gliding? Just notice all of these things, noticing about yourself. And as you're into your environment and your body, start to notice your breath. And we want to do all of these things without judging ourselves and without changing anything that we're doing, because there's nothing wrong with us. We're just learning and noticing who we are in the moment and in our environment. And the more that we do that, and the more that we sense into all of the senses that we have, the more we're able to find safety and to recognize safety in the body when we need it, especially in moments of trauma or in moments when we're just having a panic attack and we want to come down. So orienting is my number one, and I will share it with anyone and everyone, and I hope that everyone that hears about it will take to it and just spend even a few seconds a day to just figure out where they are, how their body breathes, and be a little still. I hope you'll all orient a bit today.
Gosh, that is so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
It's my pleasure.
I particularly love the part where you're like, it's a non-judgment approach, and there's nothing wrong with us. Why does it feel so good to hear from someone else? There's nothing wrong with you.
Because even when you're doing those small moments, you find yourself judging. And self-judgment is just killer.
It is a killer, isn't it?
Killer.
Kelbi, thank you so much for sharing.
Thanks for having me.
Jessica, what's one of your go-tos?
I have two, and I am lucky enough to live in a very beautiful wooded area. And so one for me is to go for a gentle walk and to go with the intention of just receiving, just listening and taking gentle footsteps. For me, gentle is also powerful. It's very in touch with everything. And so being gentle and powerful and listening, and like Kelbi was mentioning, noticing where my eyes are drawn, like what parts in nature are a little bit more illuminated and calling me. So my eyes might land on a tree and there's wind in it, and is the wind playing with me, dancing with me, communicating with me, and tuning into that? Or are my eyes landing on a very, very tiny little flower and giving my thanks and my gratitude? So part of the walks is always just giving thanks or giving the offering of a song or a funny little dance or just a heartfelt emotional thanks. And the other thing that I personally do every day, and on some very rare occasions I share this with a client too, is I go through the process of feeling what it will feel like for my body to return to the earth, to return to the elements, to transition to the other side, and just tune in and see if that happened later today or tomorrow, what would be really authentic for me? What would I want to leave behind? What is my legacy genuinely going to be? And I like that process, so I just tune into my courage through that process, and I do and say what really needs to be done. So those are my two practices, and anyone can take what they want.
Can I ask something of you right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, please.
Do you want to tune into your courage and show us a funny dance?
Let's do it! Oh my god, okay, let me... Here, I'm sitting down, so... Yeah. Okay, so anybody... Yeah, whoever wants to just dance and just express yourself right now, go ahead, I encourage you if you have some space. And it's okay if you just see my body, but you can start by shaking, but then just move it, move your body. You are beautiful. You are beautiful. That was so fun.
When you said it, Jessica, my whole body lifted up, and I was like, today, before Colleen got to work, I had to do a spontaneous interpretive modern dance sequence to a Motown song I was listening to just to start my day.
Movement is so important.
Yeah.
We hear a lot of love it, yay! Go. Sometimes I wish you guys would just send snapshots of following through, and too bad we can't post them up here on the chat thread and see your funny dances. Marcella London said that just made my day. It's good to see you here, Marcella. Yay! Oh, ladies, I'm just so thrilled about this. I'm wondering what it would look like, and here's a public invite. Would it be so fun to co-create a panel and really get some people coming in and asking those tougher questions about nature and kind of how to frequency dose and how to stay in the present moment, and make it a collage of many lessons, many being M-I-N-I, many lessons, as we're just sitting on a panel. And maybe you'd be interested doing that in a live stream. just throwing it out because we can set it up to where we say, luminaires, bring the questions. Like, we're not going to like chat. Right. We're not going to chat without the questions.
I love it. I'm in.
Oop, okay. Kelbi, I'm writing it down right now. Kelbi is in.
I'm so in. Let's play together.
It's done.
We
How
have
about,
a few witnesses I see too.
yes, we have a few. Maybe we send that out to little Sarah Rahias, our Schumann resonance expert,
Absolutely.
astrologically, and then nature. Oh my God, I feel it
I
coming.
mean, Mary Lloyd might be good to bring into that.
Oh my God. Mary, you're about to get a ping.
Sorry, Mary, I couldn't help it. If I think nature, I can't help but think of you.
That is so very true. This might be better done like off on a Zoom account, where we can, or over on Learn It Live and just make it a panel class.
Yeah. Yeah. And crystals are a beautiful way too to connect with nature, like in your own home, because they come from the earth. It never ceases to amaze me. And they're like masters of holding specific frequency, master healers, just amazing teachers. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I use all kinds of nature tools to move energy in my practices. Feathers, antlers, bones, shells, water itself, salt, all kinds of stuff helps us move energy.
Rocks.
Oh.
Everything within reach, guys. It's like, what else? Gosh, that makes me think of Lexi Rodriguez, who we spoke to last month, just a few weeks ago, and doing all of that. And then this just popped up, which made me giggle. Mary Lloyd.
I just saw that.
I've been pinged. Look at her squirrel image. It couldn't get any better. Thank you so much for being here. I love both of you. I really enjoyed this time with you. Thank you. What a way to just wrap up a gorgeous day already. Again, to the luminaires, anybody who's watching, whether it's live or recorded, thank you so much for being here as well. And follow your intuition. If you feel like you've heard something today from Jessica or from Kelbi and you just went, wow, I like the way they said it or how they hooked into it or their point of view, please find them. Put your fingers to the keyboard. We've put the links up. Go to their websites. Just research and see what you are being called to. Because if you're looking for that change in life, it's not going to happen until you step into it. The first step might be the biggest one you ever take. Then after that, it's just this free flow right from the gut. You're right on target.
And go barefoot.
And go barefoot. Coriel said this is so much fun and inspiring. And Nancy Garfinkel, you guys are awesome, she says. Thank you. That was very kind. Great live. Thank you, says Edna.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Jamie.
We'll see you luminaires soon. Stay tuned for our Earth panel. We'll be reaching out to you once we pull that together.